Okay. Hey guys, Skylatron here with 1010 Hammer talking to Mike O'Brien and Colin Johanson about the brand new Guild Wars 2 expansion just announced today, Heart of Thorns. So we are expanding into Maguuma, right? And you guys said that this map is going to be different than anything else that we've seen in the game so far. Can you explain a little bit more about what makes this map special?
Well, I can start. It is the most vertical map that you have ever seen in Guild Wars 2, or I think any other game you've ever played. So, I mean, you go into the Maguuma jungle. This is a very, very dense environment. And, you know, we wanted to take what we knew about building environments that really just have legs. You know, legs as an environment. You go in, you're not just playing through it once, you're playing through it over and over and discovering new places. So that's what the jungle is all about.
Yeah, I think you know, we really wanted that sense of, let's not build a bunch of broad content that you digest and it's just gone, right? And I think that's a very traditional thing, is add a ton of landmass, but you tear through it so quickly that there's no value to it. And so we're focusing more on, let's build a smaller total width of space and let's make it really deep, where, you know, like Mo said, it has tons of replay value and secrets and things to discover and incredible challenges to overcome. So you can come back to these maps and play them over and over and over again and always be experiencing and finding new things and discovering stuff. I think that's one of the great joys of Guild Wars 2. Literally, I was looking at some forum posts last week, and people discovered that you can interact with the little evil crabs in our game and emote at them, and they run away from you and get angry. And like, people just found that, you know, the game's been out for 2 years and they're still discovering stuff like that. We want to take those concepts and apply them to Heart of Thorns and make them even deeper and even better, more involved experiences that play out over time.
You know, if I could add one more thing. You know, we have amazing level artists, right? I am in awe all the time of our level artists. And I said to our level art team at the beginning of Heart of Thorns, I said, this environment can't look like it's just another map in Guild Wars 2, right? You have to really separate yourselves and do something that players have never seen. And so you can tell they took that as a challenge, and they came back and, oh my God. So the Maguuma jungle is really something to behold.
One of the things that plays into how vertical the map is of course, you were talking about masteries during the presentation, and the concept of flying around the map. So, but can you just dig a little deeper into masteries? Do we have limits on them? Can we cap out everything in masteries? All that sort of stuff.
All right. So mastery system. So it's two things. One, it's a framework for us to grow and evolve the game in the future. That is a consistent theme across everything that we're doing in this expansion, is we're trying to identify what parts of the game do we need to be able to have a core system that allows us to grow and provide challenges for our players to overcome, not just now, but, you know, for all time in the future as we continue to expand and grow our game. And so the mastery system is something where when the initial Heart of Thorns comes out, there will be a finite number of total abilities and points that you can get, and those will take a lot of fun experimenting and gameplay and growth from players. You know, when we talk about the depth of the jungle, included in that is the depth of all the content and all the masteries to earn and be able to play with. But we'll also continue to build on that, and that will be a core system that we use for PvE progression going forward and built into all the content that we do.
Will masteries be having any impact on anything lower, or is it only end game progression?
So masteries will only be available to level 80 PvE characters. However, you can earn mastery points both in the jungle as well as in the core Guild Wars 2 world that exists today. And you can earn them before you get to level 80, but you won't be able to spend the points until your character gets to level 80.
One of the other super exciting features is specializations, which sort of feels like kind of adding additional classes in. Not quite, but sort of. So you talked about the druid. What makes the druid special?
Well, the druid has access to the druid is basically a ranger that has grown into becoming a druid. That's their new specialization. And some of the things that separate it, they have access to a staff, which is a weapon that a ranger could never use before. They're going to get a new set of skills, heal, elite, and utility skills that fundamentally change the way that profession can be played. New mechanics that actually alter the way a ranger plays, and a druid has its own profession mechanics that play off of the core ranger concept. And they have new traits that are only available to those rangers that have become druids as well.
And you also revealed the new class, the Revenant, the heavy armor class. Very exciting. And Ritlock's going to come back and be awesome. So, what are the core mechanics of this class?
Go ahead.
So, most importantly, it is a heavy armor profession that channels the power of the mists. And so it uses the mists in almost all of its weapon skills, things from the way that it swings its attacks, channel the power of the mists to enhance and power those moves. It's also able to channel great legends from Guild Wars past, and the legends that they channel affect the skills and abilities that are available to the Revenant. So if I choose to channel King Jalis Ironhammer, I have the abilities of the Great Dwarves available to me. My character becomes much more of a frontline, tankier character who can really survive and hold down the front for me and my friends. If I choose to channel Malix, the demon, I'm able to master conditions and provide a lot of support to nearby players as well, drawing conditions from them and controlling conditions and using them against our enemies.
I think all the Guild Wars professions are designed so that there's a lot of different ways you can play each profession. But the Revenant, I think he really just goes beyond that. So that's when we're playing the Revenant back at the office, I think the thing that really stands out is how you channel these different, these different spirits, and it really changes the way you play the Revenant.
So as a wrap up, what is each of your favorite things that's being added with the expansion?
I gotta be honest, I don't know how to pick a favorite. No, I can't. I think my favorite thing is not any one specific feature. It's the concept behind the whole thing. It's stay true to who we are as a game and our manifesto and the concepts that we originally built the pillars of Guild Wars 2 on. Respecting our players' time, not invalidating their hard work, having a truly living, breathing, involving world for them to enjoy. Taking all of those and then taking them to the next level with this expansion, and doing so in, I think, innovative and creative ways that work for Guild Wars. And I think everything together builds one cohesive unit that makes this expansion succeed. And any one piece not being there doesn't bring it all together. So I can't pick a favorite. I just say I love that we're sticking true to who we are, and we're picking creative ways to solve that, which aren't the easy way, but will be the better way for us to go forward.
What I'm happy about today is that we're building a groundwork. And so, obviously, players have been wondering, what are you working on? What are you working on, right? And we get to come here today and we get to reveal how everything fits together. And I have this feeling that that today, on the first day of revealing all these features, people are going to interpret each of these as separate features and say like, oh, I like this feature, I like this feature. I hope that as people start thinking about this, they think about how our purpose in building this expansion pack really was laying the groundwork. You start thinking about, so I was just up on stage talking about how we really have to create a framework where we can put really difficult new content into the game. Think about, it's been difficult for us to put challenging enough content into the game up to now, to really do the game justice. So now we're laying the groundwork that allows us to put really difficult content into the game. I stood up there and I said, it's not about the gear treadmill. It's not about the grind, right? Think about that we're putting in place a framework today where that's going to be true next expansion pack. I don't have to get up there and say, all right, well, now it's going to be about the gear treadmill, because it's not. Because, this mastery system, for example, this mastery system is putting in place a renewable progression system where we can keep adding endgame progression, and expansion after expansion, we can add endgame progression. Think about the way you earn masteries, right? Even the way you earn masteries is fundamentally living up to what we say, where it's about the journey, right? You earn mastery points by doing things that are all about the journey. And that's another system that we can just keep extending into the future. So that's what I'm happy about today. You asked me what I'm happy about in the expansion pack. I'm happy about laying the framework that I think Guild Wars 2 needs to go forward.
That is all really exciting. Thank you guys so much for doing the interview with us today. And if you guys want to make sure you're checking out upcoming news about Heart of Thorns, be sure to head to 1010hammer.com.
Thank you.